So let's do it, shall we? Let's get qualified to drive trucks in Canada.
When I turned 30, I decided to completely change my life. I quit my job, left everything behind, and moved by myself from England to Canada. Follow along with me as I embark on a new career as a truck driver and build a new life whilst trying to navigate through the highs and the lows of emigrating to a new country alone.
Whee!
My name is Jen and welcome to my channel.
Okay guys, good morning. Sorry about the noise. It is about 7:30 a.m. here in Ontario, Canada, and I'm about to start my first day of truck driving school. Again. I can't believe I have to do this all over again. Oh my god. Yeah, so I start my first day today. It's a 2-day course initially, and we're starting with the air brakes, so we'll see how that goes. And funnily enough, I used to work at the Tim Hortons right here. I still work for Tim Hortons, but I got trained there. And now my truck driving school is here, so that's quite funny. But I already know half of the trainers, which is really great because I used to serve them coffee. So yeah, pretty serendipitous that, because I'd already chosen the truck driving school I wanted to go to before getting my job at Tim Hortons. So that was really lucky, I suppose. So moved to Canada on my own about a month ago now. Managed to get a job in that time, like I said, at Tim Hortons. And I passed my UK Class 1 HGV test a week before I moved here, completely by myself. Unfortunately, the license isn't valid over here, which I knew it wouldn't be, so I have to retrain from scratch and get what's called my AC license. So let's do it, shall we? Let's get qualified to drive trucks in Canada. Okay guys, so I'm on my lunch break from training and I am loving it so far. So today is 2 days of air brake. So basically we're learning all about the air brake system today and tomorrow. Then we do a test tomorrow afternoon and then we should be qualified with our air brake, which is the Z part of the endorsement. So if you don't have the Z part, you can't drive a vehicle with air brakes. So very important. It's a lot different to how the UK works, which I obviously was expecting. And they don't focus as intensely on the brakes in the UK. Like they obviously cover it, but this is like a more intensive, like informative course. And it's honestly how it should be done, I think. So I'm really appreciating this additional knowledge. Then you have to pass the written test in order to then go ahead and do the road test. And we get like 27 hours of training or something like that. And you do get 2 tests included here. So overall, I'm really happy with the choice of school so far. It was a bit more expensive than some of the others, but you get what you pay for. And I believe that the quality is definitely going to be up there. So definitely happy with my choices. Learned so much already. It's just really strange because I went to Tim Hortons for my lunch, which is where I used to work. I saw all of the people that trained me and stuff, which was pretty cool, and they were all rooting for me to do a really good job with my truck driving. Yeah, so I'm going to keep you guys updated on how the course goes. The difference is here I'm learning in an actual classroom environment as opposed to in England it was all done like virtually. It was all done via Zoom calls and video calls and things, and then a lot of the tests were done independently. The practical learning was all done in a truck, like at a yard, whereas this is like an actual facility with classrooms. They have a simulator, because obviously in Canada you tend to train in a manual truck so that you're not limited on the type of truck you can drive, whereas in the UK you're allowed to train in an automatic truck and still drive manual trucks. You are not restricted so long as your car license is manually endorsed as well. I don't know if this is making sense, bear with me guys. Hey guys, Editing Jen here. Sorry to interrupt the video, but I just wanted to add the reason why in the UK you're allowed to drive a manual truck is because in the UK, the very few manual trucks that exist are synchronized transmission, like the transmission in a car, how you press the clutch once, put it into gear and release. However, in North America, the majority of the manual trucks are unsynchronized transmissions, which means that the cogs don't align. You have to align the cogs at the right time, the right RPM, the right speed. It's basically a lot lot safer because in an unsynchronized transmission, you can't accidentally go into the wrong gear, which is obviously a massive safety factor for commercial vehicles. So it's obviously a completely different type of shifting to synchronized transmission that you'd find in the car, which is why you need special training. This does involve double clutching, which means that you have to press the clutch twice, once to go into neutral, once to go into gear, and it's a lot more challenging than regular transmission, and you can only drive manual transmission in North America with the right qualification. I thought you'd like to know the difference. Back to the video. And apparently my 14 years of manual driving experience is going to mean absolutely nothing over here. I have to completely unlearn all of the habits and muscle memory that I have from driving a car, because a manual transmission in a truck is completely different. So that's going to be an experience unto itself. But yeah, I'm just super excited for the coming weeks and learning a lot and getting my hands on the truck and getting out on the road. So yeah, we'll see. Hey love. We'll see what happens, and yeah, it's just great to see all the people, like the trainers, some of the other learners and the students that come here, because I used to serve them coffee at Tim Hortons when I was training there, so it's kind of come full circle and pretty interesting. So I think I've got about 20 minutes before I have to go back in, so I'm going to finish my Timbits, head on back into the classroom. It's quite a hot day today, which is why I'm hiding out under the shade, and I'll keep you guys updated with this journey. So let's go and learn more about air brakes. Welcome to day 2 of learning how to drive trucks in Canada. I am going to head off for truck driving school in about 10 minutes. I've got 2 hash browns that I'm going to demolish before I go, and I'm just going to finish my coffee. But yeah, really loving it so far. Lots of information to take in. It's a 9-hour day, so it's 8 till 5 every day, and they're very big on punctuality, as you would hope. And yes, it's very intense. It's all about, for the first 2 days, the air brake system, as I might have mentioned before. So it's very mechanical, very technical. You have to understand the inner workings of the brake system, and basically to be able to identify issues as and when they arise.
You learn things about how to check for air pressure build-up rate, to check your low air warning device is working, your emergency braking system, also various ways to check and identify possible air leaks, how to check that your tractor protection valve is working properly, and also that your pushrod stroke is within the legal adjustment limits. In order to understand possible minor and major defects, truck drivers utilise something called Schedule 1, which is almost like a trucking Bible and a really great indicator as to how serious the problem is, but more on that in another video. Shout out to this YouTube channel, The POV Trucker, who gives you a step-by-step guide into all of the different processes and really helped me out before my test. You need to at least identify, like, oh, I can recognise this sound, which might indicate that this is wrong, because you have to basically be responsible as a driver for knowing when it's safe to take the vehicle out and when it isn't. Yeah, I'm having to sort of start from scratch and almost like put everything I learned in the UK out of my head. Very interesting to see the differences. It's almost a completely different subject, honestly. There's not many things that are similar, but I'm still glad I did it in England, because I know now that I'm capable of doing it. I know I enjoy doing it. I wanted to find out if I'd be passionate about it, and I am. I absolutely love truck driving, and I honestly can't wait to get behind the wheel. So this morning's going to be more practical, hands-on, putting the theory that we learned in the classroom yesterday into practical use. And then I do believe we are tested at the very end. So by the end of the day, I should have my Z endorsement, which is the air brake section. Let's go learn on day 2 how to drive trucks in Canada. Okay guys, good morning. It's Saturday. The sunrise looks beautiful, as you can see, and I am just heading to work this morning. I am starting at 8 till 4 today, and it's a little bit of a come down because yesterday obviously I did my air brakes course. Basically at the end of the second day you get tested, so it's a written test and a practical test, and I passed, which was awesome. And I was a little bit nervous because it is very complicated. It's very mechanical, very technical, really important stuff, and it was very thorough. So I really enjoyed learning. You know, I got to meet the other people on the course. There's about 15 of us, and my 2 trainers are amazing, super insightful. They have loads of experience, and the biggest thing is you can tell they're genuinely passionate about what they do. So I'm really loving it. Like, I have a week off now. Like, I'm not doing any truck driving school for a week, and I'm like really sad. I loved it. I love it so much.
I love trucks, and obviously I sort of fell in love with trucks in the UK as I was learning there, but I've always really loved North American trucks, like the Peterbilts, the Kenworth, Freightliners, all of those. I just think they're so beautiful. And I'm always like truck watching, like when any cool ones go past, I'm like, ooh, look at this. To actually not only set foot in one yesterday and actually spend time in a North American truck, it was a Volvo, but to get to like operate it and stuff, we didn't get to drive it, just like operate the dials and things. That was just like a dream come true unto itself for me. 1 second, I have to cross the street safely. So yeah, that was a massive dream come true for me, to actually get to drive one and then be qualified to drive one. Oh my god, like I am living the dream right now, guys, honestly. And I just feel so much more relaxed that I did do it in England, because now I know I can really do it. And I think that the school I'm with, I couldn't have chosen a better place to learn with. But I know that I can do it. I know that I'm going to love truck driving when I pass, when we have to manifest it. I can and will pass this test when the time comes. I think I'm going to be a lot more relaxed about the whole thing. It took me 4 times to pass in England, and I am not even ashamed to say that, because I know it wasn't due to my ability or lack of ability as a driver. It was purely nerves. It was purely nerves, because the way that I drove with my instructor was completely different to the way that I drove once the examiner sat next to me. It completely altered the way I was able to operate my hands and my feet and my brain, and it just all went out the window. But yeah, I'm gonna get myself off to work. I'll check in with you guys soon and let you know how the whole process is going. But right now I've got to earn some pennies, so the Tim Hortons I work at is there, and my truck driving school is there, and the bus stop is here. Okay guys, so I'm back from my first day doing my practical training at trucking school, and today was simulator training. So I'm going to be training in a manual truck. I thought that manual would be super easy because I've been driving manual transmission cars for the past 14 years. So I thought, oh, how difficult can it be? How wrong was I? It is completely different, and it's way more like mechanical than I thought it would be. You have to do like double shifting and all this crazy stuff you have to take into consideration, which is totally different from a manual car. It was a tough adjustment trying to get used to it, but I will pick it up. I'm sure in no time it will become muscle memory. So my trainer said I did a good job like starting off. Okay, so we are just on break at the minute from my second day of simulator training, and oh my god, it is so much harder than learning manual in a car. It's completely different, so in a way it's better to not have that experience so you can learn from scratch. But I'm on the simulator, my instructors have been amazing, and I am making progress. Upshifting, downshifting, you have to learn exactly what gear to be in at what speed, and it's not as easy to tell in a truck as it is in a car. You have to kind of learn the numbers more than like just get a feel for the sounds and stuff like you would in a car. A lot harder, but definitely very interesting, and I'm really happy that I'm making progress, and it's giving me confidence for being able to go out and learn in the real truck. But I've got my coffee and I'm gonna go back to it, so let's see how this afternoon goes. Okay guys, good morning. I woke up feeling really off today. Like I don't really know why. I'm feeling quite anxious, like about my health. Like I've felt kind of dizzy for a long time, and I'm getting a bit worried about it. Just nothing seems to be helping, and I'm getting kind of concerned about it now. So I've booked an appointment today to go to the medical centre just down the road, and because I don't have OHIP, it's probably going to cost me like $100, but the way I'm feeling right now, I don't really care. It's not really in my nature to feel kind of down, and like, you know, usually I'm quite full of energy and really bubbly, but today I just feel flat. And I think it's important to share these days because I want to give you guys an honest representation of what moving abroad alone can be like. It's difficult to sort of pull yourself through days like today when you are by yourself. Like usually if I'm feeling a bit down, I'd go to my mom or my granddad or my best friend, and just being here totally by yourself, it like really highlights that, you know, when you've got nobody to sort of like pick you up or to reassure you that everything's going to be okay. And they can do that over the phone, but it's different when it's in person, you know.
A couple of days later, whilst I was at work, I took a turn for the worst and felt like I was going to pass out. I took a taxi straight to the hospital, but when I got out of the car, I collapsed onto the floor. The taxi driver kindly helping me into the emergency room. I was diagnosed with a serious skin infection called cellulitis, which can spread extremely rapidly and can even enter the bloodstream. It's essential that this is treated immediately with IV antibiotics, because within a few hours can turn into sepsis, causing skin necrosis and organ failure, which is ultimately fatal. Unfortunately, this wasn't the first time I'd ever experienced this. I've experienced recurrent cellulitis throughout my life due to a medical condition called lymphedema that weakens my immune system. I had a horrible experience at hospital, which I'm not going to get into, but the staff were less than helpful in the beginning and didn't take me seriously until it was almost too late. This was honestly one of the darkest moments of my life, and it was incredibly difficult being separated from my family. The nurses initially wouldn't even let my mum speak to them on the phone to find out any information. The doctors themselves, however, were absolutely fantastic, and they did so many tests on me to find out how I can prevent getting sick in the future. Luckily, my amazing boyfriend managed to catch a last-minute flight from New York to come and stay for a couple of days and look after me, and Abby visited every couple of days. I was subsequently discharged a few days later, and Abby very kindly offered to come home and stay with me for the first night to make sure that I was safe, despite the fact that at this point we honestly hadn't known each other very long at all. Thank you both so much for looking after me and doing everything you could to support me in my darkest moment. After a couple more days of recovery, I resumed my trucking, which I'd been longing to get back to, and started to feel more myself. I don't really want to talk about it too much in this video, but I'm just glad I can put this chapter behind me and continue with what I came here to do.
I just finished another day at truck driving school. I've still got my high-vis vest on, so I look the part. It's been an amazing day and I'm really proud of what I've achieved. We were doing the pre-trip inspection today. We did more of the air brake stuff because you get asked that on the road test. I got to drive my first Canadian truck today, which was amazing. I had a go in both manual and automatic. We did some backing, we did just some driving around the yard, and it was so cool. Like, it's a dream of mine to even get behind the wheel of a Canadian truck, let alone to be able to drive one. And like, obviously that's the goal, but I've been dreaming of this for such a long time that I'm happy that I even got to sit behind the wheel. And luckily, some of my reversing from when I learned in the UK actually came in handy here. The backing obviously is the same principle, and I managed to do some straight backing pretty well, which is good considering it's been about 3 months since I've sat behind a truck. Some of the other guys obviously who had never done it before, they found it a bit more difficult because obviously I've done it in the past, but I wasn't as rusty as I thought I'd be, so I'm really happy about that. It was a long day though. It was 8 till 5, and I've got some homework to do as well, which is, you know, not what I really want to be doing right now, but it's all in the name of truck driving, so I don't mind. And it's just crazy to think that my road test is in 3 weeks time. Okay, it's fine. I got this. I know I can do it because I've done it once before. But when I did get home, I had this waiting for me, and I know exactly what this is. It's my medical bill from the hospital, so not really excited to open this, but we're going to go ahead and do that. I think it's going to be in the ballpark of around $30,000. If it's more than that, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. If it's less than that, I'm going to be pleasantly surprised. But either way, I do need to submit the insurance claim to my insurance company, so we're going to go and do that tonight as well. And it's going to be a productive night of trucking homework and submitting medical insurance claims. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and probably watch some more Ice Road Truckers because I'm obsessed with it at the minute. Anything to do with truck driving that I can watch, I'm on it. I am not thinking this is going to be cheap. I do have medical insurance that covers pre-existing medical conditions, but nevertheless, I'm not excited to see this, so, oh God. Well, the first thing on the list is emergency visit fee, and it's already at $810. And then there's a bunch of other stuff after that. Blood culture, liver profile, glucose, creatine, whatever the heck all this is. Oh, it's stapled together. Oh my God, it's 4 pages long. Okay, just to give you an idea. So this is the first page. Second pages, it's not as bad as I thought. It was around the price that I assumed it to be. We have a total of $22,026.18. Yes, that's not great, is it? But as you can see, I had a lot done. So that's what going to hospital for 6 days looks like in Canada. If anyone was wondering, that's going to be my homework tonight, as well as some more trucking stuff. So definitely staying busy. All right, let's get to it.
Okay guys, so I'm just going to do a bit of light reading for the evening. This is basically everything I have to go through. So yeah, just a little bit of light reading for tonight. But yeah, they definitely give you a lot of resources to work from, so it's very exciting to read through. Look at those bad boys, I can't wait to be driving one of those. That's what all this is for. Oh my god guys, look at me. I'm absolutely covered in dust. I have just finished my second day of inspections. It went really well. We were outside all day. It was super duper hot. There's a lot to remember for the inspections because I didn't realize that in Canada, the inspections is almost half of the test. So it's about an hour and a half for the whole thing, and it's about maybe 30 minutes for the inspections, both exterior and interior. You get asked questions about the air brake, all these different mechanisms. I can't even think right now because my brain's hurting, but there's a lot to memorize. Luckily we have a lot of paperwork and things to help us. It was a lot of information to absorb today. Tomorrow is my first day out in the truck driving on the road. I am so excited. I'm very nervous because I'm learning in manual transmission. So yeah, it's going to be a totally new experience, but I'm very excited. And the trainer that I have is supposed to be like one of the best. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to be let loose on the roads of Ontario. So watch out everybody. I will check in tomorrow and let you know how my first official truck driving day on the road has gone. I cannot wait. I am so excited. And I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep much tonight. All right, guys, I'm going to go take a shower and I'll check in tomorrow. Bye.